welcome to another segment of Excuse Me, Mind Your Business. Remember, this is a segment and this is the channel that helps you use your mind to handle your business of life. Today, we're going to be talking about a segment regarding purpose. The reason that it has come up with several people have asked me questions regarding purpose lately, and I said, that's one of the areas that when I was looking for my purpose, my definite sense of purpose, one of the things that happened for me is I was good in a lot of areas, but I hadn't found or identified the thing that I did that I could be excellent at, that I could become great at. That was part of my legacy. That was part of my destiny. That was really my purpose. Now, there's 5 questions that I'm going to ask you to ask yourself. I'm going to ask you those 5 questions in the front, and then I'm going to repeat them at the end just to make sure as we go through the segment, I'm going to explain a little bit more about each. The 5 questions gives you the grace for purpose, the grace of purpose, giving you the grace is the ability, the capacity to go through and do what you need to do as it relates to your purpose. So the 5 questions are, who am I? Wow. What do you love to do? To teach? Creativity? To speak? What is your power and passion? Who are you doing it for? What do they want or need it for? And why is it important? Those are the 5 questions as we go through this segment that I want you to ask yourself, because those are the 5 questions that's going to help lead you closer to your purpose. Purpose is not a destiny. You know how you say, I'm going from here to New York. Once you get to New York, you said, I've arrived. Okay, I'm through. No, that's not really how it works. It's bigger than that. It's a journey. It's part of your process. It's not a place and time and you say, okay, now that I'm doing this, this is all there is to my life. That's not how purpose works. Because people, you look at people and you say, I know their heart. I know they wouldn't do that. Or I know who they are. And I know their character, their integrity, all of that. So purpose helps us with all of those things. Because when a person knows their purpose, they realign their lives and they start doing what will lead them closer to that goal or to ensure that they accomplish it. And that's what purpose is about. Now, part of mine for who I am is not just my DNA. I know who my parents are. I know who my brothers and sisters are. I know who my cousins and all that is. I got it. I know my genealogy and all that, and but that's not the whole matter, because people have been born into a family and their family does one thing or acts one way, and they are totally diametrically opposed to a lot of things they've done or doing, and they're different. And when people do that, they say, well, you're different, you're cut from a different cloth. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody was created to be unique, and there's nothing wrong with your uniqueness. But who I am is connected to not what other people outside me says. It's who I say I am internally. And for me personally, it's who God created me to be. It's bigger than me. So I look at the thoughts and plans that God has for me, the plans to get me to an expected end. And I take everything that has happened in my life and see now how it's connected to that. As you're going through some things, you may not see the good in it, but remember, there's always good in every situation on the other side. After you come out of things, you can look back and say, other people had this happen to them and they're not even alive. So now what do I need to do regarding this matter so that other people don't have to go through what I went through? That could be part of your purpose. What do you love to do? Some people love to teach. Some people are very creative. Some people love people. Some people don't like people. So if you don't like people, you don't want to be in an area that you deal with people all the time. So what is your power? Where do you feel the most powerful? What could you get other people to learn from you? What would you like to teach other people? What is your passion? Passion and purpose is so interrelated. Power, passion, and purpose is so interrelated. You have your greatest power when you're working out your purpose with a sense and a passion for it. You have a passion for it. Now, what is the thing you feel qualified or you feel like you have learned and you want to share or give to others? Who are you doing this for? When you look at your life and the things that are happening in your life, who are you doing what you're doing for? Is it connected to you? Is it connected to people outside of you? Is it to give back? Is it to share? Is it to cause people to grow? That's where that question is coming from. Those are not additional questions I'm asking you. Those are the questions when you look at who you're doing it for, some of the questions you need to think about as you look at that specific question. Then what do they want or need it for? A lot of people have created things or wanted to provide something to someone else or believe this is what they were created to do. But the question is there a need? Let's talk about it from the business perspective. When a person has a great product, but they have no market, they usually go out of business. If a person has a great product, they're passionate about it, and they're fixing a problem. You hear me? It's fixing a problem. Not just that they have, but that others have. You'll notice that their business is easier to take off. Now you still need to know about business. There's some other dynamics to it. But then you have a passion, you have a great product, you have purpose, and you can launch out and to the public and help and fix a problem that's out there. So then usually you can gain great resources. Because anytime you can fix somebody's problem, normally they'll pay you for it. Does that make sense? So now, why is it important? How do they change as a result of it? So now that you're fixing their problem, how do the people that you impacted, how do they change? So that's part of your passion, your purpose. And just because you do one product doesn't mean that you can't do others. Part of it is part of your purpose is maybe creativity to fix people's problems. You're an innovator. And that's what you love to do. You love to go out and do startup companies. You love to help people. You love to teach. They are impacted based on what you're teaching them, and their lives change. They're impacted because of the product or services you provide, and their lives change. For me, I love transformational. I'm a transformation person. I believe that people's lives can be transformed by the renewing of their mind. No doubt. I'm telling you, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And because I believe that, because that is my passion, I help people in the area of transformational development. I help companies transform their company, build a culture of transformation and information and communication and growth. So that's what I do. Now let's talk about it in a couple other things I want to give. Selfish or self-centered people think about their self as it relates to their purpose. Their purpose is to take care of them and well for everybody else. That's not the clear definition of what purpose is really about. Purpose is coming from a selfless perspective. how can you help others? You may see homeless people, and every time you see that, it bothers you. So you want to create a process or a product or a program to help homeless people get off the street. Now, every person that's homeless is not going to come off the street. Some of them have chosen that. And when I say that, that's not to be mean. It's that sometimes people need additional help as far as emotions. There's some help as far as being a safe place. There's some other services that they need before they can come in from being homeless. So it's not just one thing. I build a house and they come and everybody's going to come that was homeless. It's usually a bigger issue than that. So, and that's a very powerful place to provide service to people that are less fortunate. And then other people are book writers. You know, they provide their information in the form of books and things like that. And so that's how they give back. That's how they share. That's how they do it. And the master key is knowing your definite sense of purpose. And the reason I say it's the master key, there's a lot of things that will happen in our life. And like I said earlier, purpose is a journey, not a destination. However, the master key in this is that I have found that there are a couple things that I call threads that have happened throughout my life. Always cared about people. That's a thread for me. Always wanted people to become better. That's a thread for me. And it has even been a time in my life that it caused me some problems. I was a supervisor over quite a few people, and I see more in people than they normally see in themselves. So I was driving some people, and I'll call it driving. I was young and passionate and wanted people to be the best they could be, and I didn't get it at the time that there's a way to do things. So at the time I was pushing people and you need to go to school and da 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 da. I was just wow, wow, wow. And so I got in trouble for it. And so then I backed off of it and said, well, this is something I shouldn't do. And so I shifted. But actually, that was my gift. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great people. However, passion without any self-control or any looking at the people that you're dealing with and using them as your vector check. And when I say that, I'm saying if a person doesn't want you to help them, they're not ready. So back up. Your gift will make room for you. Your passion will make room for you. As long as you continue to work at it, you continue to move forward in that direction. And now in my life, I'm looking at the very thing I thought was a problem in my life is actually directly related to my purpose. And that's where everything in my life has come to this moment, to this time, and causing me to be better for other people. Because what I desire to do is to pour out and give and help people become the best they can be. So the 5 questions that I want you to look at is, remember these 5 questions. They're extremely important. Who am I? Who are you? What do you love to do? Who are you doing it for? What do they want or need? What do the people that you're doing it for, what do they want or need? And why is it important? And if you look at those 5 questions, those are not the only things to consider when you're looking at purpose, but they are 5 questions that will not just help you find your purpose, it'll help lead you in every aspect of your life and help you give back, whether it be in the professional realm, whether it be in your family, with your family, in your private or realm. It'll help you personally internalize and become a better person. And when I say internalize, I'm saying look inwardly for an outward change. When you look at who you are you start looking internally. Who do you believe you are? And that will help change your process and cause you to have great growth. So this is another segment of Excuse Me, Mind Your Business as it relates to purpose.